Alright, so let's continue because we're not completely done with that My Bookings page. So now we got all the information, but can you see that yellow or orange button here which is saying cancel? Well, cancel booking is a business operation that changes the state of the entity. Here we got our flight entity. You can see that make booking call here, right? So let's skip HTTP, REST API and the way we receive user requests. Let's focus on the pure domain specific logical flow behind the cancel booking operation. And it's pretty similar to what we have already developed so far with that make booking call. So to cancel a booking, we should find the booking that the user requests, remove it from the booking list and release the booked seats. So this operation needs to be done in the business domain, whether the passenger uses any software or not, right? Because that could also happen in the real world at the real airport. You can go there and just cancel a flight. Now let's implement the cancel booking logic. Here inside the flight entity, let's go ahead and add cancel booking. Again, we will create an arrow object or an arrow class later on. So let's set it to object, make it nullable, cancel booking, string, passenger email and byte number of seats, right? So we want to cancel a specific flight. We're gonna grab it by the passenger email and we want to remove a specific number of seats or release it in the end. Let's go ahead and first of all find the booking. So var booking equals to bookings dot first or default booking goes to number of seats equals to b dot number of seats, and let me just bring that into the next line of code, and passenger email dot to lower equals to b dot passenger email dot to lower, right? So we want to make sure that it's not case sensitive. Now we got that booking. We can move on and simply remove it. So bookings dot remove the booking. So we simply take the bookings from the flight, grab the one we are searching for by the passenger email and number of seats, and then we move it from the bookings list. For sure, we have to take care about the remaining number of seats. So let's add, not remove, right? Add the booking dot number of seats because we're deleting the booking, so the seats will be free again. For sure, it's possible that we enter some wrong information. So passenger email, which has no booking, for example. So we should take care about an error. Let's go ahead again to our domain errors right here, right click on it and simply add a new C# class. Let's call it not found error. Switch back to our flight entity. And here, after trying to find it, to find the booking, if booking equals to null, we want to go ahead and return a new not found error. There we go. So an instance of the class that we have just created. Great, so we're nearly done here. Simply return null. In either case, we got, well, no value, everything worked fine, or we got an error object. Now let's move to the booking controller and implement that cancel booking. So open up controllers, go to booking controller. Let's start using our DTOs and errors here. So using flights.dto and using it's flights.domain.error. There we go, errors. Great. Now let's scroll down and let's create a completely new endpoint. You got list. There we go. Let's create it. Public I action result. Let's call it cancel. Takes the book DTO, right? Endpoints take data transfer objects. Don't forget that. Never forget that. First of all, before we write the code, let's add the correct attributes. So first of all, this is HTTP delete because we are deleting something, right? So this is the first time that we now don't use get or post. Instead, we use delete because we want to remove something. Now we got a lot of produces here. So produces response type. So first of all, we got the status code codes. There we go. Status code 204, no content. This happens after you delete something, then you send it 204 and say, hey, okay, I deleted it. There's no content anymore. So this is like success. And we got produces response type of 500, internal server error. produces response type of status codes dot 400, which is bad request. You can for sure also use simply 400 if you like, or rather want to write it down, just up to you. We got 404, which is not found for sure. There you go, status code 404, not found. So I did not found a passenger, flight, or whatever object you're searching for. That's all we have to add when it comes to attributes. So now let's write down the code here. So first of all, let's find the flight. Flight equals to entities dot flights dot find DTO dot flight ID. Let me see entities here. Yep, it has an underscore, for sure it has. So entities flights find. There we go. Now let's check if we have an error. Equals to flight, check if it's null. Let's call cancel booking, DTO dot passenger email and DTO dot number of seats. So check if we have an error. If error is not null, or is null, let's do it that way. So if error is null, we're gonna have a success, right? So go to entities, save the changes because we have modified the database, and let's return no content, which is, as I said, 204, which is a success call for I have deleted something and there is no content anymore. And if we have an error, error is not found error, let's return not found, which is 404 again. And we can also go ahead and throw new exception in every other case. So let's throw new exception, and we can print out or log the information. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna say the error of type error.get type, whatever error we have, dot name occurred while canceling the booking made by, we can also enter the user information DTO.passenger email. There we go. All right, so that's a pretty long one, right? So we got throw new exception, and we got some interpolation here, and add error get type name and the information about the passenger. If you want to see that in detail, go ahead and check out the commit in day 18, right, in the GitHub repository. So what's happening here, we're calling that cancel endpoint on the controller, and we have that book DTO, and inside there we got the flight ID. So we take the flight and call cancel booking on it. And if we have no error, we're going to save the changes that we made to the database. And in every other case, well, we throw a not found on an exception, right? And in every other case, we return a not found or throw an exception if something else goes wrong. Cool. Okay, so again, this is everything. So again, this is just repeating the stuff you've already learned. So you have not learned any new things when it comes to this, right? But in many real-world scenarios, you really want to have that deletion and showing a list of information. So this is why we decided to add it, even though you really don't learn anything new, but it makes the application feel more complete. And well, it gives you a nice idea of what you can really build using that stack. Okay, so this is it for the ASP.NET Core side. Now let's switch over to the Angular side.